Seven, six, five, four, three, two, one.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 29 of CBD Talk Podcast. And today we have a different type of interview for us. A lot of us talk about what, about the market, about CBD, and about different products, and we have testimonials and things like that. Well, today we're going to talk to someone who is very in the how can I say this? He knows how to market CBD. so that is a unique skill, because there are so many rules and regulations around that, and especially with it when it comes to like Google AdWords and all sorts of things when you're trying to drive people to an area. So we're going to talk with Brian, and he's going to tell us about his company. He's going to tell us about the project that he did, what he learned about CBD, and I would like to introduce him, but I can't pronounce his last name.
Theriot. Easy to spell. The Riot. You put it together. Cajun French, and it's pronounced in my strain of the family, Theriot.
So everyone, this is Brian Theriot with Iguana Marketing.
Iguana Media Group.
Iguana Media Group, and they do a lot of things. They do everything from, when we were talking before, Adidas to the NHL to even movies. But he took on the challenge of marketing a CBD startup, and so that's what we're going to talk mostly about today, although the other stuff's interesting too. So, all right, so how were you approached to take on this big, huge project?
Well, it really started about 2014. The CEO of Ojai Energetics, Klein, had heard about our company, Iguana Media Group. We are a world agency in products from Calvin Klein to the fun products of Red Devil Freedom Fireworks to Nordstrom stores to Mother's Kitchens. We launch products, we launch films, just finished Hacksaw Ridge, now working on Lego Batman. And we're a company that builds products, builds names, builds brands. We don't buy media, and we build packaging, and we start companies. And through many of our films, we have actors and actresses that are very involved in health. Brad Pitt, water.org, we're a big giver in water.org. Woody Harrelson, we work extensively with Zombieland, one of his fabulous ones. And
I loved Zombieland. I loved it.
Great time. And so we get involved with our talent. We don't represent talent, we represent their films. Warner Brothers Pictures, Sony Studios. We launch films and do everything that they don't do. We get to Colorado, Fort Collins. We'll go there and do events. We'll do digital programs. So lo and behold, we got invited and introduced to the CBD world because of our penchant for health and health products. And we met with Mr. Will Klein, Ojai Energetics, named the best CBD HempCon 2015, Super CBD by Ojai. And but we launched the company for him in 2014 and quickly learned about CBD products, the various strains of CBD, hemp-based CBD, the female plant, male plant. And mind you, this was new to me. Although because of my athletic career, I was heavy into nutrients and understanding many things, but not CBD. And so we also got into the essential oils and launched 22 essential oils for them. And so that's how we got involved. It's an exciting business to be in. So I'm here to help you and answer questions and tell you we're excited about the entire marketplace.
Oh, thank you. We're definitely glad to have you here because you've got a very unique set of skills. So one of the reasons that I had contacted you was because of an article that you had written with respect to CBD and athletes. And I first of all know that athletes have a very special need. That the way that they push their bodies in the whole recovery process, and then they push it again. And I am not an athlete, but I understand that how this could really help them. And I was hoping that you might be able to share some of your knowledge in that area.
Well, you happen to be talking to a retired world-class athlete, if I may say. I was a world-known 800-meter runner, 1,500-meter runner in the 80s for UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles, the Bruins, thank you, and doing well in basketball, horrible in football. And so my years, I traveled the world, ran the mile in 3:56, 800 meters in 1:45. I was a bronze medalist in the United States Championships, 84. But throughout that time period in the 80s, competing against Sebastian Coe, Steve Ovett, the great John Walker in New Zealand, Steve Scott from America, and in championships in Europe every summer, our needs were heavy as far as supplements. In those days, you could take the avenue of steroids, of course, and human growth hormone, HGH, and heavy, of course, dosing and arginine, ornithine, and mega doses of desiccated liver, and those kind of things. You can go that route, and the need to recover and why steroids are so popular is not that they instantly give you an advantage if you sit in a rocking chair. Steroids, whether oil-based or pill-based, testosterone, dianabol, Winstrol, those are the names of the old days, Anavar, and now more refined to include elements of HGH. They allow an athlete to do more and recover more. And if you can do more and recover quicker, you can do more work, you can take your body to a higher level because you're not getting injured, and your energy level is high. Your mind is high. So, of course, steroids are illegal and have been tested heavily since 84 in track and field. But to not single out track and field, steroids and supplements are heavy in the NFL, NHL, Major League Baseball. It's just that the sport of track and field wants to portray itself as Cinderella, which it's not in either of the other professional sports. Track and field is no longer professional. It's always been paid. I got paid. It just wasn't publicized. So supplements have always been essential as an athlete. And then I became a family man and coached thousands of kids, but I coached my son. He was the starting fullback for UCLA in that article you saw and featured, starting fullback under Coach Rick Neuheisel and under Carl Durrell, 2005 to 2010. And throughout his athletic career, needing massive supplements and additives, of course, not steroids. In college, there is testing that's decent, even for marijuana, which we'll get to, and weed, not alcohol, of course. So the CBD is entering this world of a massive need for supplements that are legal. And steroids are always going to be here, and the performance-enhancing drugs are always going to be a part of sport, but hopefully cannabinoids and other natural products can be as valuable. I'm a big believer in HGH, by the way, very big believer in it. And I think there's a big market in the sports world for CBD, and whether the governing bodies and they test, if they find the low levels of THC in hemp-based or any THC, I'm not sure what they're going to do when an athlete is on over-the-counter, Ojai Energetics, for example,
Mm-hmm.
Super CBD, hemp-based, what they're going to do when they see a THC spot, or even in the workplace. I don't know. I have brothers-in-law that are in the United States Navy, heavy duty, and love the product, but are in fear of.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen if super CBD shows up in their system, and many swimmers take over the counter and have been busted and thrown off the Olympic team for taking over-the-counter yet banned substances. Over-the-counter can be banned.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I hear that some can't even take cold medicine.
Yes, you have to. It's like drunk driving, DUI. Everybody thinks, 0.08, I'm under, I'm okay, no ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, folks. 0.06, 0.05, 0.02. If you're driving impaired, that's still driving impaired, and you will get a ticket. Yeah, and the fact of the CBD over the counter, these are non-hallucinogenic levels of THC. I was just thinking about you on the way here. I can drink a whole bottle of super CBD. Then if I were, and I were not a drinker, I used to be, couple shots of Jack Daniels, I'm in trouble on the Jack Daniels, not on the super CBD, getting in the car. And that's what's interesting about all this. But it's very important. Athletes and CBD, I know for me personally, I am nearing 60, and I decided, and once I got associated in the CBD markets, I started taking the product. And I'm an interesting character. I used to compete and train 100 miles a week all over the world. I was also a former football player, but I decided on track and field. And so during these years, as I got older, what I quit running the 100-mile weeks, but my need for the supplements were still there. And let me throw in another twist. I'm a 6-time melanoma skin cancer survivor on my scalp from the decades of running and burning my skin. All level 1, they call it in situ melanoma, but nonetheless dangerous. And but CBD has been shown, if you adequately and continuously rub that on the precancerous areas, which most of my skin is, and you can't see me, I'm a freckled Opie Taylor.
That's me too.
There you go. If you can identify those precancer zones with your skin doctor, and of course the skin doctor is not going to say rub CBD, although they might think you can go around the corner and do it. So rubbing that on, I found my last scalp surgery, well, my first in melanoma before I came involved with CBD was 2004, literally rotation and digging into the scalp and, multiple surgeries to remove the layers. I've had 6 of them. My last surgery was over 2 years ago, but since then I've been rubbing the CBD on the scalp, and I haven't had a reoccurrence. Now, God love Will Klein of Ojai Energetics. Before my last surgery, he said, wait, don't do the surgery. Let's try the CBD for a few months. And I said, I'm going to do this surgery, maybe next time. And so I wasn't willing to hold off on the melanoma surgery yet.
I understand.
I was already deep into the stages of it. Now though, I've been utilizing it on my skin, and I just had a full body check and no melanoma signs on my scalp.
Nice. Very nice.
CBD is a natural and wonderful rebuilder and oxygenator, and especially for the muscle tissues and the immune systems. Because when you're training that hard, your immune system is threatened because you're in a natural state of weakness. Not many people understand when you're lifting weights, the whole object of training and lifting is to break down the body. Because when the body's broken down in either muscle tissue or cardiovascular debt, by breaking it down and punishing it, it then regenerates itself to a higher level to meet the standards that you beat it up. And CBD seems to be assisting in that rebuilding process, allowing you to do a heavier workload. I can tell you, and I'm open about this, I didn't drink till I was age 50. No kidding. I drank at age 50 and within 1 year became an alcoholic. Drank hard probably for 6 years. Then instantly put it down, never drank again. But during that time, the need for sugars after I quit drinking zoomed. I went from 165 pounds to, on August 15th of this last month, this summer, 223 pounds.
Wow.
Right now, since August 15th, and utilizing supplements and going back on the road and taking my CBD, I've lost 50 pounds.
Wow.
August 15th. I'm the old Brian Theriot again with the skinny face. So I'm down now, low 180, high 170. My natural running weight, 155, which will never be achieved because I don't want to go through that. But a nice 170.
Yeah.
But CBD during this rebuilding from Ojai has, because I've been punishing myself, and also the CBD seems to have an effect. I've been rubbing it on my knees, the super CBD, because I didn't listen to people. At 223 pounds, I walk out the front door with my wife in Coronado, who's always running, and I said, I'll run with you today. Well, I'd only been training repeat hills, no road running like I used to do. And I said, you ought to be honored to run with a world-class miler retired. 1 mile out, I had to fake a leg injury to keep up with my wife. Fake it. I was embarrassed. So during this time and during that month, I kept running. At 223 pounds with a body that was accustomed to carrying 160, I destroyed and aggravated what might have already been there. Arthritis from 65,000 miles of running on my legs, approximate. I had flared an arthritic condition that never had been in my life before. The cartilage between the femur and the tibia was on my last tires. So I quickly called Ojai and Will, and he said, take your CBD, rub your CBD coconut oil on your knees. And then in conjunction with losing the weight and icing and doing this CBD supplement program on my skin and ingesting it, I'm now running the 5 or 6 miles a day, and it's coming back. The rhythm's coming back, and I really enjoy it again. So I'm kind of been a guinea pig and fight back from melanoma, the arthritis, the ex-athlete, my son, being an athlete, know what it took to make it a Division I. There's only 103 schools in college football, 120 in Division I, and if you 120 times 80 players per team that can be on the roster, so 120 times 80 tells you how many world-class Division I football players are out there. There's not that many.
Yeah.
And so we went through the struggles of supplements and rebuilding, and so it's essential. And CBD, whether prescription-based and attacking, we can get into attacking the convulsions, attacking the seizure, treating bipolar, is a whole vast new world. And what we must know is the only thing stopping the total acceptance of both marijuana and CBD is a combination of big pharmaceutical and alcohol and tobacco wanting to continue to control the recreational supplement market, those being vices, marijuana, and CBD being recreational and non-vices, in my opinion, non-addictive.
Yep. Very much so. Very much so. And that's, the more education and information we can get out there to people so that they can understand what the product actually is and how it can help them and their lives, the better. And I understand what you're talking about with the CBD with sugar. So when I started CBD, it was Girl Scout cookie season, and I am really bad with sugar.
Yes.
I'm really bad. And so I had started taking it, and a week later, I noticed that there was still the boxes of Girl Scout cookies, the tag-alongs, were still in my pantry. And that's ridiculous. For me, it's ridiculous. And so for me, it really helped with sugar cravings and helped with my weight as well. So it's a great product when it comes to that, and in so many other areas too. And like you were talking with the skin cancer, with the skin being such a massive organ in your body, and with the CB2 receptors in your skin that just sucks up and holds on to that CBD. I've heard so many great stories about skin cancer, and so I'm really glad that you're able to find that for yourself, because it is amazing, and I'm sure that's why you have not had any more surgeries.
Yeah, it's been a pretty amazing. Will Klein and Ojai Energetics happened upon a CEO of a company, in my company, Iguana, that has so many different angles to him because of my mental makeup as a businessman, as a driven person in sports. But we're different animals at our level. At the level I competed at, which is the level I was at, because not many people understand track and field, is akin to the level of being an NBA player or a Major League Baseball player. It's that final phase in sports where
it's like Usain Bolt.
It's the best of the best at that point. And so we are a driven people, and we are susceptible to alcoholism. Many of us were ADD kids, diagnosed bipolar, which is my world. Non-depressive, though. I'm part of the segment of bipolar that is always up, never down, and which is a benefit for when you're competing. And in my business world, Iguana, our motto is the CEO wears jeans, and 25 and 7, he never sleeps. That's why I'm always available. But the CBD, I don't take any psychiatric enhancers such as Depakote, Seroquel. The cocktail of drugs that they're giving bipolar, manics, and depressives is never, ever achieved to the right mix to treat that person on a long-term basis, because that person constantly changes, and the cocktail mix at these doctors, up to 6 medicines at a time, is it's not right. The only time I and our company will assist in the psychiatric industry with a drug, it may be in a philanthropic, is if that depressive person is being treated for suicidal tendencies with a drug. Good for them. But the overall cocktail of 6 drugs to get them through a day is ridiculous, and I've seen it. And so the CBD, and I can't wait for more products to come out, seems to also have a nice balancing effect. And the coconut, CBD coconut oil is nice for this. I cook with it, and not too high of a temperature to burn off the CBD. And what's nice about the Ojai Energetics, and not to overly tout a former client,
It's all
but
good.
they're the only CBD company in the world that has a patented microsoluble CBD, that 250 milligrams of Ojai Energetics CBD,
Hmm.
comparable bottle, it takes 1,500 for
So they're
the,
doing like a nano type of deal.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty intensive stuff.
that's awesome.
Pretty intensive. So you get more bang for your buck
Oh
and
yeah.
instantly into the system. And I kind of think of it, and I can give you all these things because I've been there. It being microsoluble is almost like, have you ever heard of dimethyl sulfoxide, DMSO?
No.
So you've never heard of DMSO? Well,
No idea what it is.
listeners and viewers should know that there's and you'll love it. DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide, for decades, used in the hobby industry and in the horse racing industry, and for us athletes, it's a solvent, and it's sold at Mother's Kitchen. It's sold at health food stores, and it always says on the bottle, oh, it's over the counter, by the way,
Hmm.
not for human use or this and that, or there's some disclaimer on there that's ridiculous. But the government doesn't regulate it, DMSO, which is dimethyl sulfoxide. Now, what it is, it's a solvent. They make cream and now the pure solvent. But back in the 70s and 80s, when you were sore or you had a pulled muscle or a tear, and this is why I'm going to relate it to Ojai Energetics, microsoluble, fast into the system. DMSO directly into the muscle tissues, warming and relaxing. But hold on, that's not enough for us crazy athletes. We crush up aspirin. We crush up all kinds of good drugs in this DMSO, goes through the skin into the bloodstream, and all of your body, suddenly you're saturated in aspirin. And us athletes are crazy. We'll do anything. And also it leaves an onion taste. And the minute you put on your skin DMSO, you'll taste onions in your mouth. But I urge you and all your viewers, it's not harmful at all. Go to Mother's Kitchen, go to a health food store. It's sold everywhere. You go on the internet. I think I got some cream the other day. I could have got it on Amazon. But yes, dimethyl sulfoxide. So Ojai Energetics is kind of the DMSO of CBD, instantly into your system, and quicker
Yes.
result.
And that means a lot. When you have
Yes.
someone who's in pain, or who's either with the arthritis, like your knees, or someone who's battling stage 4 cancer and in pain. Gosh, I mean, I know people that are using it for rheumatoid arthritis. I know people are using it for lupus. I know people using it for MS,
Yes.
Crohn's disease. I mean, just on and on and on and on and on. That speed is so important. So important.
For sure. Yeah. I'm going to pose. I never thought of this. Thank you for talking to you. I've never mixed CBD with DMSO. I imagine it'd be a wild ride, but there's no hallucinogenic effects. What you will feel sometimes, we were even back in the 70s advised you, there was, of course, all the scares that, the ghost stories that you rub DMSO on. Your skin's got to be clean or it'll take germs into your blood system. All these ghost stories. And so we even got to the point you crush up the aspirin, rub it into your skin, and then they would urge us to wrap it in saran wrap, clear plastic, and that would seal it in. Crazy voodoo stuff. But mind you, I'm telling you, we will do anything to succeed as an athlete at that level.
Yeah.
Not only for compensation, but for our pride and to win.
Just the competition.
About winning. And
yeah.
Of course, at younger levels, it's about sportsmanship and learning and hard work and ethics. But the further you go up the pyramid, all that is assumed. Up here, it's about winning, and that's all that matters. But it's so much fun to be at this point in the industry with CBD. All the mom and pop companies, everybody struggling for distribution and on distribution and offline. And of course, there's the big ones funded I think there's one in San Diego that, of course, is a public company involved in CBD. And I've seen this throughout my career in toys and games and in many different, but the start of an industry, you'll find good, bad, and the winner is always the person with the best product and the best distribution.
Yeah.
You get two together, you get a bad product with good distribution, it's horrible and it gives a bad name to the industry.
Yeah.
But you get a great product with great distribution and acceptance at mass market. Mass, in my world, there's mass market and there's specialty market. Specialty being more your mother's kitchen and your GNC, although GNC could be mass if you consider supplement distribution. But mass market typically in our world is Walmart, Kmart, Costco, Target, Walgreens. Once they accept the CBD wide ranges, and what we did in a strategy, Iguana Media Group, for Ojai Energetics, we fast knew that CBD standing alone to build a company, it's a dangerous gamble, given the fact that the FDA is not allowing you to say anything about the health benefits.
Exactly.
So we urge them, let's shove in 22 essential oils as the big bride on the block that gets us in the door at mass market. So you open the door with the essential oils, totally legal, to the oil.
And establish that relationship.
And then, hey, by the way, we happen to have 5 great CBD oils. Want to try them? And so the essential oils takes the FDA off your back. You're on your website, and the FDA's cruising around, and they see essential oils. And, your CBD's over here. It's a wider mix.
Yeah.
It takes the heat off you. So we're hoping Ojai Energetics launches those oils quickly. Because it's a great market for essential oils too.
Oh yeah.
The combination of essentials and CBD is wonderful.
Oh yeah. I mean, you mix it with a camphor or menthol to get that deep tissue action, combining it with the CBD, and it's good stuff.
It's excellent. It's excellent. The one thing that I find the CBD coconut oil, I know Ojai Energetics, we have some disclaimers. You don't want to cook it too hot to burn off the CBD. But the great thing about it, you can put it in smoothies and all
See,
kinds
I'm allergic to coconut, so I don't get to do that.
Oh, you're allergic.
And that's
I've
how I
never met
found
somebody allergic to coconut.
Yeah, that's how I found out I was allergic to it, because I was taking a nano CBD product in a organic coconut oil. And my eyes, they just kept getting poofier and poofier and poofier. And then I realized, what have I changed? It's like, So I stopped taking it and went just with the straight raw CBD. And all of a sudden, my eyes just got all better. It's like, oh, man.
Well, it's too bad. I do enjoy the CBD coconut oil from Ojai.
And most people, it's honestly, it's a great product. Coconut oil is a great carrier for it, and it really helps the taste some too. When you're taking the raw stuff, it doesn't taste that great. It doesn't taste.
Yeah, it tastes a little iffy. And that brings up the quality. We as a company, so we didn't know this market that well, and so we were very important for Ojai to get into trade shows and of course we learned that there's of course the 2 great West Coast show, the East Coast show. I think it's the National Health Food or Natural Food Show, big on the West in Anaheim, and then big in the East in New York. Well, we proceeded and very important to Ojai, everything on the labeling, everything in the pack, GMO, all the natural labels, we made sure were on the product and that they authentically could be on the product, and the product was actually what it said it was. So that opened the door for the company, and I urge any buyer to look at the labels and make sure that this is an organic product, and that it's healthy, and that it's no animal fats, and no animals involved in the production. But that's what I found interesting. And out there now, there's as you know, so many different CBDs. I always
There's a lot of snake oil out there too.
Well, yeah, I'm always interested in I wanted to meet this Charlotte's Web. I never in my travels in this Charlotte's Web, the magical CBD, the cancer. It was on CNN.
It's epilepsy.
Yeah. I've never come across them yet, but I'm dying to meet them someday. But there's a few good players out there, but nobody has proper distribution yet beyond online. Mass market has yet to fully accept it. I think Amazon even is reluctant, or was reluctant.
Yeah.
And many of them don't understand, as you know, hemp-based CBD
Exactly.
versus the harder strain, the THC. So, and trying to explain that to...
Well, the thing is that they're just going to say, first of all, Google kind of is the leader that everyone follows when it comes to what to accept and what not to accept when it, an advertising. And Google absolutely says no. They don't want to see the word CBD in anything on, with Google AdWords or anything like that, because they're like, they sent me because I went round and round with them on it, and they said it is still legally classified as Schedule 1 because it is part of the cannabis plant.
Wrong.
Hemp is part of cannabis, or cannabis. And I'm like,
you're wrong.
You people don't understand. So I just,
well, they don't even want to understand hemp.
Yeah.
And of course, our government itself for decades, they wanted to regulate hemp. And Will Klein, the CEO of Ojai Energetics, can tell you great stories why hemp was regulated, because our lumber industry didn't want a competitor.
That's right.
Big money. Hearst. It could have been Hearst, I think. William Randolph Hearst.
I think so.
He might have been involved in that, getting hemp.
It was. Yeah, there were big names, because you can grow a tree or you can grow a hemp plant. The amount of paper that you can get from hemp compared to a 30-year-old tree is ridiculous.
Yeah. So to try and explain that to the poor buyer at Amazon, first of all, they don't want to risk it, and then they would probably get a cease and desist. Then they have to explain that it's hemp-based. And so
they're going for the low-hanging fruit. They just want the easy stuff on their sites.
Yeah, keep it easy, keep it simple, and keep us out of trouble. So
and then again, with a lot of the merchant accounts, they could lose merchant accounts because I know that Amazon doesn't use Square or PayPal or things like that, but they're kicking people off left and right.
Is that true?
It's very true. Yes.
Wow.
And a lot of merchant accounts, if they see, like if you had the word CBD in your name, forget it. You won't be able to use them.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's CBD, that's not even marijuana.
We tried to recommend the leveraging in with the essential oils, and then that way the manufacturer, in this case Ojai Energetics, would be able to have conversations with their buyers about their essential oils, and then adequately sit down and talk about CBD.
Yes.
Face to face, where it's hard. The old days of toys and games, you might, in the toys and games industry, it's one-on-one. The buyer meets with the sales rep, and nowadays that's changed a little bit, but that's what this needs to be, is these buyers meeting with the reps. You need to establish a rep network. And, the reps make 20% for a small store sale in toys and games. And then in a large mass market situation, the manufacturer will usually pay the rep 5% if it's selling to Walmart. But to have a strong rep network that understands CBD, there's 2 ways to distribute product, 3 ways. Manufacturer house accounts. House keeps the accounts, pays no commissions, relies on its own network.
Right.
Or retaining independent sales agencies. They typically get a higher commission for the small mom and pop stores. It's more road work versus the lower commission for a nice region of Walmart. But still, those rep agencies go and meet with the buyer and they talk to them in the category for supplements, and they explain that it's hemp based.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other way is through distributors, which typically are 33 or 34% off wholesale, and their margin is the 35% typically now off wholesale, and selling to mass or specialty, and their margin is the 35 off to wholesale. And the difference in using a distributor typically is, unlike a sales rep who, whatever they sell it to, you're still going to only get net 30, net 60 from their account to get paid yourself. But a distributor, the beauty of a distributor and the reason you give them 35% off wholesales, they buy the product. They buy it. They own it. And they have more loyalty to it. And they got to move it.
Yeah.
And they usually have more channels for you as a manufacturer, especially a new company. That it's all relationships in buying and selling product, and the buyer and the seller have to have that relationship. And typically, that down the line, I want to get these CBD products on QVC,
Definitely,
and, Home Shopping Network, which would be fabulous. Right now, he's working on Lego Batman, which appears in February. The second week, and so we're going to have Lego Batman products on QVC pre-film, and it's huge because I think CBD and supplements and CBD oils, especially on Home Shopping type network, the host and the show host can sit there with the founder of the company,
yes,
Energetics, for 6 to 10 minutes, and they interact and they talk about the product.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, and that's why Home Shopping. So, but there's a whole great world out there for CBD. What are you hearing on your end as far as CBD itself, both regulated and unregulated? What are you hearing? Anything breaking?
Well, I know that the UK, it was all messed up over there. They had said, "Oh no CBD anymore." They had passed all sorts of rules and this and that, but I guess CBD is back in again there, so that's good because I have a lot of friends in the UK that really need it. Well, to be honest, worldwide people need this.
Yeah.
What I'm excited about, though, is all the new products and the new ways that's being used. You know, I love the transdermal patches. I have a friend who has compressed discs in her back, and she uses transdermal patches. You can use, they've got the inhalers and nebulizer solution out now, which is great for asthmatics. I'm asthmatic, and I'm no longer taking Advair because I'm taking CBD, so that's amazing. They've got, of course, the salves and things like that. They've got the nasal sprays. I saw one that was a nasal spray with CBD and THC that some of the kids with epilepsy they're working on it with them, and I've seen some videos on it, and it's worked really well. So I'm just really excited about all the new products because, you know, it's like with social media. Some people live in Twitter. Some people live in Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, whatever. And so I see that CBD, you know, in a similar way, you're going to have people who want it as capsules. You're going to have people who want it in oils, in a mist, in a vape, in a nasal spray, in a salve, and you know, and all the creams and patches and everything. And I just think that what I appreciate is that there are people out there who are providing CBD in so many different ways that it will become mainstream because it frustrates me that we're not getting the help from the FDA, but the FDA's, in my opinion, is basically not a puppet of the pharmaceutical industry, but they've got strings that are heavily pulled. You've got they've just been they're so myopic in the way they do things. That they want that one cannabinoid. They want that one thing that can do this and that. They don't understand that it takes the whole plant. In some cases, it's if you can combine the CBD with certain terpenes and things like that, that it works better. That it's not just this one molecule. That makes that turns on all the lights in an epileptic kid's head type of deal.
Right.
And so I think that the more and more that we have a diversity in products, that it'll give more people an opportunity to try it. And I really believe that people have to try CBD. They have to try it for themselves, because they're not going to realize that they don't get high, because they're not going to believe anybody until they try it and then they see they don't get high. And then that opens the door, because then they're not as afraid of it. And then when they're not as afraid of it, then they'll say, well, my knee does hurt. I'll try it on my knee. Let's try a little bit on my knee. And then hopefully we can expand that so that people will be in less pain. People will be taking CBD without the side effects, rather than Depakote with a bazillion side effects. We just want people to be healthy. But I'm definitely I'm the one thing that I'm hearing a lot of right now that people are trying to push forward on is the fact that in certain states, if you grow the hemp in that state, it can't cross state lines. And that's a big problem. That's a big problem. And it's not really fair to the industry. It's not fair to the people, to the companies, because you can bring it in from overseas and it can go everywhere. But if it's grown in our own country, it can't cross state lines. It just...
I think a few universities can grow it, but that's about
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Well, we grow it here in Colorado. The Department of Agriculture issues licenses. I know Kentucky grows it. Thank goodness they're hopefully will be able to grow more hemp and less tobacco, as things go along, because at least people can be smoking something or vaping something that helps their body, as long as it doesn't have the VPG in it, as opposed to smoking something that's got lots of chemicals. And there are several states that are allowing it to be grown. More and more need to allow it. But wouldn't it be great, instead of paying a farmer not to plant corn, that they would be able to plant hemp on their...
Yes. Yeah, outstanding idea. Yeah.
You would think that everyone would be on board with this. Hopefully it'll go forward. But I am excited, and the other thing that excites me about the industry is that really it's one of those industries that you don't have to have your master's in biochemistry to be able to make a difference. There are people in all levels that are familiar with cannabidiol, or even on the marijuana side, are using their experience to create bath salts. I have a friend with rheumatoid arthritis, and when she gets in the tub with her bath salts, with her CBD bath salts, she told me, she says, it's like when I empty the drain, it takes all the pain with it. So who would have thought of bath salts? And then you've got the like even lip balms, because with the little canker sores and things like that, it's an antibacterial. Also, CBD is an antibacterial. Sure. So that's another great product. There's just the number of ways that it can be used is just amazing. And I think that just the world is open to all the different possibilities and all the ways that we can introduce CBD to the just the general public at large. But it is going to take education, and it's going to take people to open their minds and not think that CBD is reefer madness time. It's also going to take states to stop being, sorry to say it, but dickheads when saying that, like, there's certain states where you can buy this stuff nationwide, but there are states that prohibit it to be sold in storefronts in their state.
Right.
It's like, stop. So we just need a lot of common sense, which is
We're trying to, at Iguana Media Group, I can put this out to your listeners. If you have listeners that need help, our talent base is from Matt McConaughey, Brad Pitt, Scott Conn, Bradley Cooper, dear Robin Williams, passed, of course, got me sober, along with Robert Downey Jr. Keep the cork in the bottle, Brian. That's Robert. And if people want to contact iguanamediagroup.net, and they have causes that they want our talent involved in, just contact us. We're pitching a campaign right now, Bring Brad Home, which is Bradley Cooper and Brad Pitt and their CBD company, which will be a part of all this. We're involved in, and our theme is Bring Brad Home. Who wouldn't want to bring Bradley Cooper home? So, and we're going to
be a really short list of people who wouldn't want to bring Bradley.
Yeah. He's our American sniper. But we're and he's, by the way, sober. He's a sober individual. Yeah. And so we've got Woody, of course, that is heavily involved. And we're going to be launching more and more efforts, but along with that comes Snoop Dogg, who wants us to outreach to kids in help and families in need. So our talent base wants Iguana involved in all their activities, and that includes, ice.
I see your Ice Cube.
And we just finished Barbershop 2 less than a year ago. And my wife, who sits on the board, mind you, all of us, what we brought to Ojai Energetics is we formed, and I felt it was very important, you talking about this talent level we have, Ojai Energetics, to involve the world. So on the board of advisors was Dr. Amin Mirati. Very sensitive for him to join the board. Head of Cedars-Sinai here, oncology, the brilliant Dr. Amin Mirati. On the Ojai board, they're switching to a new board now after the company's launch, more medical doctors. But we had Amin Mirati, myself, my wife, who's a director at Warner Brothers Pictures, involving the talent. Sir John Walker, the great miler, the first man under 350, New Zealand, Sir John, currently and for the last 20 years, 30 years, suffering from Parkinson's disease, but achieving great results. And this is top secret. I'm going on record. John Walker is not within the country of New Zealand ingesting CBD. Now, whether John Walker ingests CBD outside
in America or somewhere else.
So, I'm going on record that Sir John Walker has never ingested. But anyways, wherever John does ingest that is legal, John has achieved great balance and noticed change. And Helen is your wife, a good friend of mine. I lived with him in Auckland for 3 months in '85. Ran in Sir John's 100th sub 4-minute mile. And even to the latter part of his career in the 90s, John was probably suffering from Parkinson's disease. So he's on the board. Mike Tully, silver medalist, Olympics 1984, sits on our board, one of the great pole vaulters ever, 19 feet. Larry Jesse, American record holder, UTEP NC2A champion pole vault, also on the board. Lieutenant Leo Williams, United States Navy, now handling the biggest network of hospital ultraviolet disinfectant machines for the emergency rooms on our board to see how this CBD movement can get more involved in the institutional hospital environment.
Yeah.
So building a board and having talent and stars not just say or endorse a product. We don't do it that way. That's called product placement on talent, where hopefully Paris Hilton's wearing your necklace and suddenly a million of those sell. That's not what it's all about. We work with talent that wants to be engraved in the health industry. And that's why, Matt Damon and water.org were so heavily involved in. So for your viewers or anybody out there, you contact iguanamediagroup.net. And if you have a cause, we'll be a part of it. We'll raise the money. I mean, we've raised, millions of dollars for causes because we know where to go. And as long as it's a cause, clothing for kids, vitamins, supplements, foods, clean water, we're involved everywhere. Human rights. So you're right. Spreading the word and the why we utilize talent is when they say one word, it's like an average person saying 10 million words.
Yes.
It spreads so quickly. So that's why we use and work with talent to get good products like CBD out there. You won't find one A-level, B-level, C-level star in Hollywood averse to CBD or supplements. California just legalized marijuana. The sad news is this: local government and county can regulate as it sees fit. So I have a resort, for example, in Castlestone Inn on the Northern California, right in the basin in Shasta County. They have regulated that. Unlike we can't. I have 5 cottages resort that we could have 5 or 6 plants per cottage grow and harvest. In that county, they're saying we can only grow indoors. Well, I can't do that. We're a resort. And
that's what it is in Colorado. Colorado's indoor grow. In Colorado, we have to have indoor grows.
Oh, so you're in the same situation. Yeah.
And so what you'll find is that there's a lot of companies that have come up with these little modules that are self-contained to grow in.
Like Lost in Space with Will Robinson. Oh my gosh, yeah, pods.
And another great thing that's a lot of fun that they're doing here in Colorado that I'm guessing will happen in California as well is, we have, they call it pot tourism. We have bed and breakfasts that cater to 420 clients.
Wow.
One of the things that's happening with the counties and cities and different municipalities here, because they're allowed that here also, is that you had several of the larger ones that went ahead and did it. And so they monitored what was happening in different towns and counties to see how they were handling it, and also to see the amount of money, tax income that was coming in from it. And then they were like, okay, I like this, I don't like this, I like this. So some of them were saying, well, there are only allowed to be this many in the city and blah, blah, blah. Now Aurora, one of the suburbs of Denver, is using their tax money, part of their tax money from the marijuana sales, and they are putting it directly to homeless problem, to the problem with homeless people. Creating making more beds for them to be able to sleep, because it was -7 the other night here. And so they're using it as a tool to help their communities. And it took a little while for some of the counties, and some of them still, and some of the cities are still fighting back and forth. But fortunately, it's been on the ballot. The people are deciding. Like Pueblo just had a big vote in November. So there's a lot of potential there. But to be able to have that 420 bed and breakfast at a resort, it's a great thing, because it gives people the opportunity to go somewhere to try it to be safe, and it's a resort. You got everything you need. You don't have to leave. So there's just the opportunities are just endless.
Well, yeah, I can tell you one final story. As I said, Will Klein and Ojai Energetics got an amazing specimen and a CEO like myself, only because of all my frailties, which are built into being an athletic personality. As I told you, I had this skin cancer situation, 10 years of it, but in the meantime, I had become an alcoholic at age 50, and then, I'm now 5 years sober, and but fighting alcoholism, which I've never been a victim to any sort of vice, but it literally took my life over. But fortunately, I didn't hit the rock bottom of finance or losing family. But I still alienated my children. Conducted football games unbecoming of a UCLA captain, my kid playing, and there I am tailgating, and the stories are endless. But in the meantime, I'm beating alcoholism, and finally they say, there's never seeing anything like this. You need to take a drug called Vivitrol. Vivitrol, also known as naltrexone. Well, great. And Vivitrol, the first time I took the shot, once a month, I take it, $1,500 a shot, but insurance, thank the Lord, beats me being at Malibu in rehab. I never drank again.
Wow.
I literally went into the Tarzana treatment, the one Vivitrol, and it's nationally known. It's been on the news, but it's also known as naltrexone. Instantly, I never have taken a drink again. What it is, Vivitrol for many decades used as an opiate blocker. And so any kind of opiate you take, you are not going to get the effect. The danger is you can still overdose, but you will not get the mental effect, the feeling. Decade ago, Vivitrol was proven valuable in treating alcoholics. I wish they had told me about it the first year into my run, but they finally introduced me to it. One shot, never drank again. In the meantime, though, I'm having these 2 surgeries in my Vivitrol, the opiate blocker, is also Vivitrol, the blocker of painkillers and things they give you post-surgery.
Oh, no.
And also things they might give you to put you under during surgery. So I always had to disclose I'm on Vivitrol, and they all understood it until, of course, one chart doctor post-surgery, Vicodin, prescribes me Vicodin, and I didn't think about it.
Yeah. He's a doctor. You just
I'm
take
taking this Vicodin, and I'm telling my wife the pain. Finally, I almost pass out, but the pain is still there, and I'm literally overdosing almost on Vicodin. The Vivitrol is blocking it. It's not allowing the effect. So Will Klein, Ojai Energetics, steps in the last surgery and said, okay, Brian, because I'm in pain, head's all bandaged, and Will says, it's time for you to get your medical marijuana. So I never had smoked, nothing in my life. And so he hooks me up with Hello MD. I get online, and I guess they're going to interview me. My head is totally bandaged. I have a blood bag hanging from my ear, and the doctor's in Australia. Hey, oh, you're bad off. Okay, granted, card granted. They didn't have to go through the interview process. So the beauty of this for people in my situation, which could or could not be unique to people that can't take opiates, need a pain. So I went to, I got my card. I danced down to the local dispensary I've never been to in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Bars and a large guy, 10 feet tall. I go in, and of course, me being an impulsive personality, Will tells me what to get. Ojai Energetics. Brian, get the oil. Make it easy. You
Mm-hmm.
want to do a joint and the mess and the clip and just
Yeah.
do the oil and vape and get your vape. And,
Mhm.
and of course, I'm a new customer. They give me a little cookie and a pretzel. But then, oh no, me on the wall sees a sign in Sharpie, bet you can't eat this. And I go, what's that? And the guy behind the counter doesn't know I'm an impulsive personality. Oh, those are our mega brownies. Like, he goes, 1,000+ milligrams. I want 2 of those. 2. So I get all my kit. I go home. And of course, the vape, I'm doing it. Nothing. I'm a bull horse, bipolar, exciting, crazy athlete that it's going to take a shotgun to bring me down. So the marijuana, the smoke, this is a hassle. I'm feeling no effect.
Yeah, and you're still in pain.
Yeah, I'm still in pain.
Mm-hmm.
So I look over at that pack. Yeah, I'll try this. Eat a little bit. Now I'm into something I should have researched. I'm into edibles, I guess the category's called.
Uh-huh.
I eat a little bit. Nothing. I'll watch some TV. I'm just going to down this. I eat the whole brownie. Within 1 hour, I am wall walking with a head bandage, propping. My wife has gone on a movie tour. I'm alone in California with 2 dogs and stoned out of my mind. And I've been drunk plenty of times, but never this feeling where the world is wild. And I was afraid to step anywhere because I'm wall walking. I lost a day and a half. But the pain was gone. I didn't feel any pain for a day and a half because I was out cold. Eaten too much brownie, apparently, and literally the pack had a few thousand milligrams, I guess they call it. So that was my career. But another reason why CBD would have been beneficial to me, and why if I had been guided that could have been a greater experience for me where I wouldn't have been in pain if I had just waited for the vape to take effect.
Yeah.
I've been greedy.
But the thing is
greedy.
But now, they have that product that, that is soluble and gets into your system so much faster.
I didn't know that. Oh, wow. Okay.
So your friend's stuff now.
What product? So there is a more soluble edible now.
Oh, well, no, I'm just talking about your friend at Ojai, how he has that one product.
Yeah, but that's the super CBD oil.
Yeah.
Yet to manufacture, super CBD is the fine oil with 4 other CBDs from Ojai. But no edibles yet.
So it's not a, you don't drink it? It's not like a.
The super CBD oil from Ojai is. Oh, I know. See, I'm novice in this category. By edible, I want to chew it. No, edible, I meant.
Right,
But this was an edible, a brownie, a cookie. And to me, that means edible. And so I hadn't been fully introduced to edibles, that they take a longer time.
Yeah, the bud tender should have really explained that to you.
Well, he assumed that I was just a regular guy, I guess. Do what he was doing. I saw all the toys and games. I wanted one of everything. And the last thing you want to do is challenge me, a sign written in Sharpie, bet you can't. I want 2 of them. Yes, I'm going to take that home.
Well, I'm glad that it took care of your pain, and thank God for your buddy at Ojai.
Yeah, it did take care of my pain.
Yeah, that is wonderful. Well, we appreciate your time.
It's been wonderful. And I'll urge your viewers, contact me, Brian Theriot, if you have philanthropic efforts, iguanamediagroup.net. I'll even give you my personal 949-632-4650. I'm the CEO. We're online. I rarely do these things, but I believe in this industry, and I believe in the type of people such as yourself that are just plain trying to do some good in the world. You know what I mean? That's what I'm very proud to be on the show with you, and I want to thank you for inviting me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And everyone, we'll see you next week with another episode of CBD Talk Podcast. So until then, stay happy and stay healthy.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thanks again for listening, and be sure to tune in again next Wednesday at cbdtalkpodcast.com. Until then, stay happy and stay healthy.